Welcome to day 7 of the boot camp. This is where things start to get fun. I'm going to be diving into my favorite, and if I had to tell you the truth, it's probably the best scalping strategy out there. I'm going to give you guys the entire sauce. I'm going to give you guys the checklist. It's a great scalping strategy for anybody that just wants to get in and out of trades. It's all done on the 1 minute time frame, so you don't have to worry about the 4 hour, the daily, the weekly, all that other stuff. It's super simple, super repeatable. I'm excited to give it to you guys. This is some extremely valuable game, a strategy that I have been using to print money for the last 3.5 years now. Super excited to share it with you guys. Let's get into it. All right, so here is the first strategy. This is a scalping strategy. It's my favorite scalping strategy. I call it the HSS strategy, which stands for the Hybrid Super Scalping Strategy. It is a simple 6-step checklist that once you follow it, this thing has absolutely printed me money. Now, it's 6 steps. The first step is the chart setup, and then we're looking at market structure, then we're looking for pullbacks, then we're looking for our entry, and then we talk about the stop loss and the take profit. I'm going to run through all of these on the checklist, and then I'm going to show you it on the charts. I'm also going to show you a bunch of examples as well, so you know what it looks like actually on the charts. So the first step is on chart setup. We actually need to switch from regular candlesticks to Heikin-Ashi candles. And how you do that, I told you guys over here, the drop down, instead of being on regular candles right here, you'll switch to Heikin-Ashi candlesticks. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. You don't need to understand anything about Heikin-Ashi candlesticks to do this strategy, but I will run through a quick kind of breakdown of what Heikin-Ashi candlesticks are. But then on the chart setup, you also need to put an indicator on. You just need one indicator, and that is the EMA. We've talked about it in the section before. So you'll come on here and you'll click indicators and just type EMA. You'll click moving average exponential. You'll see it pop up over here. It'll say EMA 9 close. It needs to be the 100 EMA. So we'll go into our settings right here. And next to length, we'll change that to 100, right? Boom. So now we have the chart set up. Now we need to get into the actual strategy itself. And like I said, I'm going to go over Heikin-Ashi candlesticks and what that looks like in a second, but I want to show you guys the basis of this strategy and the foundation of it. So we mentioned earlier inside this video that the market just never goes straight up, right? And the markets just never go straight down, right? The markets will always go up, down a little bit, up, down a little bit, up, down a little bit. That's in an uptrend. Now, when it's going down, it'll go down a lot, up a little bit, down a lot, up a little bit, down a lot, up a little bit. And when price is going up, then it has these little pullbacks to the downside. Those are called retracements, right? When we know that the market is overall going up and then market has retracements, we know it's going to sell down for a little bit, but then it's going to continue going back up. This strategy helps us catch it right here before it starts going back in the overall direction. Same thing vice versa. When it's selling all the way down and it has a little bit of a session where it goes up, we're catching it right before it reverses back down to go in the overall direction. This strategy is helping us do that. Now, how it is helping us doing that, we're using market structure and we're also using that EMA. If you remember, we talked about the EMA helps us determine if we should be looking for buys or if we should be looking for sells. If we come back to our checklist here, we're saying we're only taking buys if price is above the 100 EMA, meaning if the candlesticks are above the 100 EMA, we're only looking for buys. If price is below the 100 EMA, we're only looking for sells. And then step 3 is we're looking for clean pullbacks. These are the pullbacks. I told you guys these retracements are the pullbacks. When we're going up, then down a little bit, that's a retracement before it starts going back to the upside. So we're waiting for a clean pullback. And what determines a clean pullback is we're waiting for at least 2 of the opposite color candlesticks in the pullback direction. And clean means there's no wicks on the top if we're looking for buys and no wicks on the bottom if we're looking for sells. Now, what does that mean? So we're overall going up. If we're overall going up, that means we're having green candlesticks going up. So a pullback would then mean we need to see red candlesticks. And remember, we need to see clean red candlesticks in this buy analogy. So we need at least 2 red candlesticks that have no wicks on the top, right? Now, what does that look like? Because we know we talked about candlesticks before, regular candlesticks before, but these are Heikin-Ashi candlesticks. The difference between Heikin-Ashi candlesticks and regular candlesticks, the wicks work the exact same, meaning where you see these wicks, that's where price has been throughout this entire candlestick.
Same thing when it comes to the time frame. And I don't think I mentioned this, but this strategy is only done on the 1 minute time frame. You don't need any other time frame. It's only done on the 1 minute time frame. But nonetheless, these candlesticks, these Heikin-Ashi candlesticks, the only difference is the body of the candlestick is not showing the open and the close. It's not showing the beginning and the end of each candlestick, meaning where it started at and where it ended at. It's showing the average of where price has been. So on a bearish candlestick here, a red candlestick here, the start of it, the top of it, that's just the middle of the candlestick before it. We don't really care too much about the top of a bearish candlestick. Same way we don't care too much about the top of the body of a bullish candlestick, because that just always starts in the middle of the candlestick before it. If we see this candlestick, it started in the middle of this candlestick. This candlestick, it started in the middle of this candlestick. But the bottom of a bearish candlestick and the top of a bullish candlestick, that's showing us the average of where price has been. So throughout this entire candlestick, price could have been down here, it could have been over here, it could have been up here. It could even close. Like this candlestick is the 504 candlestick. At 505, price could have actually closed down here, but this candlestick would still look like this because the average of where price has been is right here. That's the difference between regular candles and Heikin-Ashi candlesticks. But going back to our checklist here, as I mentioned, we need at least a pullback of 2 clean bearish candlesticks when we're looking for buys. Clean meaning there's no wick on the top. Just like these candlesticks right here have no wicks on the top, we need to see at least 2 of those for our pullback to be valid. If we see a candlestick like this that has a wick on the top and the bottom, that won't tell us that we are having a clean pullback. We need to see at least 2 of these clean pullbacks to the downside. Now, vice versa, if we're looking for sells and we want to see a bullish pullback before we continue in sells, we want to see at least 2 of these candlesticks that have no wicks on the bottom, just like this one, and just like this one, and just like this one. So that is what clean pullback looks like. Now, what are we looking for our entry criteria? In order for us to enter, we need to have had, I don't know why this fly is flying around. It's trying to learn how to trade too, I guess. Anyways, in order for us to catch an entry after we've had the pullback, for us to know, okay, when we had this pullback, we already identified we're having the pullback. For us to know when this is about to reverse, we're waiting for our entry criteria. And our entry criteria is a doji candlestick. We've went over doji candlesticks already inside of this entire course, but that's what we're looking for because doji candlesticks signify that price has uncertainty and it's probably about to start reversing. So if we know price has been going up the entire time and then it sold down for a small retracement, but the overall trend is up, right? We know if on that small retracement, that small pullback, we get a doji candlestick, that's probably a good sign that price is about to reverse to continue in the overall direction. So we're looking for a high volume doji candlestick. Now, doji candlesticks look the exact same as they do on regular candlesticks as they do on Heikin-Ashi. So you'll see doji candlesticks here, they're the exact same, where we have a small body, but wicks on the top or the bottom, preferably as equal as possible size wicks on the top and the bottom. That's what we're looking for. And you see I mentioned here we need a high volume doji candlestick. All that simply means is the size of the doji candlestick itself has to be bigger than the size of the last 1 to 3 candles. So if it's bigger than any of the last 1 to 3 candles, then that is considered a high volume doji candlestick. And like I said, we're going to go over examples of this in a second. And then for our stop loss, it's very simple. When we enter for a sell, we're placing our stop loss right above the candlestick that we entered on, right above that doji candlestick. So as soon as that doji candlestick closes, as soon as that 1 minute candlestick closes and it's a doji, we're entering the trade, right? It's a high volume doji, we're entering the trade. And then we'll place our stop loss right above the doji that we entered on. If we enter for a sell, if we enter for a buy, that would be flipped. We place our stop loss right below the doji candlestick that we entered on. And then we're going to aim for a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio minimum. If you remember, when we talk about take profit and risk to reward ratio, when we're using the long position tool, we want the risk to reward ratio to be at least a 1. So we drag our stop loss below the candlestick that we entered on, if we enter for buys. And then we're just dragging this take profit until this says at least a 1. Now you can hold it longer for like a 1-to-2 or a 1-to-3 risk to reward ratio. One of the coaches inside the inner circle actually does that. He holds it for a 2-to-1 versus a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. But just be aware the win rate will drop a bit. With this strategy, I've had a win rate of high 70s, sometimes low 80s, meaning I'm winning roughly like 80% of the trades that I take when I use this strategy. But if you go for a 2-to-1, that might drop down to like low 70s or high 60s on the win rate, but you will be winning 2 times as much as you're risking each time. So it's just personal preference if you just want to be in and out of the trade as fast as possible, or you want to hold it a little bit longer. But we went over the checklist. Now let's see this see it in motion, right?
Now, if you didn't know, inside of my inner circle, you actually get to see how I implement all of this information inside of the markets every single day. You get to come and trade live with me every day. You have the opportunity to copy every single trade that I take in real time. You have the ability to ask me any questions because I will coach you one-on-one. Now, if that's interesting for you, I'll leave a link for my inner circle in the description of this video to help you get started implementing all of this information.
So in order for us to be able to look for buys, we need to first see market structure above the moving average, right? So here we see price broke above the moving average, and then we had a pullback. We can't enter on this first pullback because this is it creating market structure above it. If you remember, we talked about market structure. That's simply it creating higher highs, higher lows, or lower lows and lower highs. If we're looking for price to create market structure above the EMA, we want to see it start creating higher lows above the EMA. So this first pullback would be it pulling back for the first time above the EMA. So once we've had market structure, boom, we know we're looking for buys. Next, we're just looking for a pullback, right? A clean pullback, at least 2 candlesticks of the opposite direction. So here we see price bought up. We had a pullback here, right? We only had 1 clean candlestick though, so that's not a valid pullback. We would ignore that. We see price continue buying up, and then we had another pullback. This time we had 2 clean candlesticks, so this is a valid pullback. And then at that point, after we saw our pullback, we got our pullback, we're then waiting for a high volume doji candlestick. And what do we have here? A doji candlestick where the size of it, if we just plot off how big the doji candlestick is, it's bigger than the candlestick before it. It's also bigger than the candlestick before that one. And it's also bigger than the candlestick before that one. That is a high volume doji candlestick. Now keep in mind, it doesn't have to be bigger than all the candlesticks before it. It just has to be bigger than at least one of the last 3 candlesticks before it. It's just in this example, the size of this doji candlestick is bigger than all 3 of them. It looks like it's actually bigger than all 3 of them combined. But once we have that high volume doji candlestick, then in this instance, since we're entering for a buy, we'd go ahead and get our long position tool here. We'd click right at the top of the doji candlestick because that's our entry. We drag our stop loss below the body of the candlestick, like we talked about inside the checklist for buys. Our stop loss goes below the doji wick. That's where we'll place it. And then we're going to drag our take profit until this says risk to reward ratio at least a 1. Here, as you see, it hit a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And then what happened? We would have entered the trade here and we would have won the trade right here because it would have went up and hit our full take profit. And this trade would have won us money. If we look on our long position tool, we can see this is 53 ticks. If we had just taken 1 contract on NQ, this would have made us $250 within the matter of 8 minutes, right? Which is pretty good. Now, keep in mind this strategy, most of the time, you'll hit your take profit within 3 to 4 minutes. Most of the time, sometimes it'll be a little bit longer, depending on what time it is. I personally like taking this strategy between the hours of 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time all the way up to about 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That window right there usually has the most volume and the most opportunities present itself. So that's usually when I like taking the trade. But this is just one example. We can look at multiple other examples. So you'll see here, we created market structure below the EMA. Right now we're below the EMA. This is the EMA right here, this blue line. We're below the EMA. And then what did we get? We had price create bullish momentum here. Started going to the upside, had a nice pullback, but it didn't give us a doji candlestick. It gave us one right here, but this candlestick right here invalidated the trade for me because I don't like seeing candlesticks that have small wicks on the top or on the bottom before we get our high volume doji candlestick. So if I get a low volume doji candlestick first and then a high volume doji candlestick after, I don't take the trade. I want to see it go from being in bullish momentum to then having our high volume doji candlestick. So I wouldn't have taken this. Same thing, we had price sell down here, then it started buying up for our pullback, and we had a low volume doji candlestick, so I wouldn't have entered it. But then we had another pullback here, right? And then we had a high volume doji candlestick, because this candlestick is bigger than the candlestick, not the candlestick before it. It's bigger than the candlestick before that one, and it's also bigger than the candlestick before that one. So this signifies as a high volume doji candlestick. So since we're looking for sells here, we would then press short position. At the bottom of the wick would be our entry, and at the top of it would be our stop loss. And then we drag this until it's at a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, as you see right here. And as you see, this trade would have won literally the next minute. So we would have won this trade within 1 minute. And again, this is 56 ticks. It's always going to be different, but this is 56 ticks. So this would have made us a little bit over $250 as well if we use just one contract. You'll see a bunch of these examples all over, but that is essentially how you do my hybrid super scalping strategy. This checklist right here, follow it to a T. Do not deviate from it. If you change anything on it, it can mess you up badly. That's why when I'm training this strategy, I just follow this exact checklist and I don't make any changes.